It is so interesting as to what you do. EFT, but matrix reimprinting, obviously, we're going to talk more in depth, with our audience. But I just wanted to just welcome you, Dorela. Welcome to the show. And it's just so nice to have you. Well, we want to welcome each and every one. Welcome to Ask the Experts podcast. We're so grateful to have each and every one of you who tunes in and week out to listen, learn, and grow. And this is where growth comes in, the value from our guests that have always given you, the audience, the best of what you can experience. And today you're going to learn something different. You're going to learn about EFT. And what is EFT? What is matrix reimprinting? How that truly can help your life. So if you want to change your life, how many of you want to change your life? You may be experiencing dissatisfaction in your life, in your personal relationship. You may be stuck in a relationship and you don't know as to what you need to do, how you can actually move forward, in your life without experiencing the other side, which we're going to talk about, which is a divorce. Nobody wants to experience that. But what can you do today that's really going to elevate your life? And also, if you are experiencing on the emotional side, whether you might be experiencing depression, anxiety, which is huge for many of us. And what are the tools and techniques that you can use today that will help you in your life in every aspect so you are thriving? And I am so grateful to have with us today Dorela Ayyappan. She is a certified practitioner specializing in emotional code, especially in EFT and matrix reimprinting. When I read about what is matrix reimprinting, this was so interesting, and I could not wait for Dorela to come and share with you as well. Dorela has helped numerous individuals to personal transformation and live in harmonious relationship. In 2021, she wrote a book, The Perfect Relationship. This is a 28-day guide to help individuals enhance their relationships. Today, Dorela is on a mission to help individuals to live a life of balance, to be in alignment, and also to live a life of happy and fulfilled life. Dorela, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alka. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here with you, and of course to discuss about everything. It's in the EFT emotion code and all the energetics and emotional stuff parts of our body.
Absolutely. So let me ask you first of all, I'm assuming it's mainly women that you work with.
No, it's really interesting. For instance, the book was written for women. It is written for women. I'm talking to the woman reading the book. But even though I've written the book for women, and let's say maybe I am drive to work with women, sometimes half of my clients are men.
Right. Okay. So let's start with, sometimes when we don't feel that we are enough, we may be experiencing trauma within us internally, and we may be experiencing those kind of emotions where that, we're not enough, we can't succeed in life, we can never achieve what we desire to have. And also, if we are coming from a dysfunctional family, this can also help trigger. Would you say that if you come from a dysfunctional family, this is part of what you feel? Because how you feel, if you're saying you're not enough, we all wear a mask, and that's to protect us from the trauma that we're experiencing. We don't want people to see that.
Well, I've heard someone that's really beautiful and really true. Maybe 98% of families are dysfunctional, so we're not special. It's more like the rule. And even in normal circumstances, kids will suffer. I see that watching my kids. So we are healthy human beings emotionally, and we pay attention how we act with them, but they are suffering, so they don't have trauma from our point of view, but
Mm-hmm.
from theirs it's big trauma. So we are all influenced by what happened in the past, and it's not what happened, but how we feel about what happened in our lives.
Absolutely. And how we feel about what happens in our lives is not just in the present moment, how we are feeling, but that feeling that we experiencing, takes us into the future. And then that is what we need to really solve, get into the root cause of what is happening within us, what really happens in our bodies. What would you say those experiences that when people feel this way, what are some of the tools that people can use to get out of how they're feeling?
So tools, we have plenty of them, that's for sure. The problem is that we have so many tools, we don't know which one to pick. What is helpful to understand is that starting from previous past experiences in our childhood, we have some stuck emotions in our body. So, for instance, I use emotion code and EFT because they are separate techniques, but both of them help people to release the trapped emotions. What happens is that when you have an experience in your past, you don't know how to manage all the emotions, and they get stuck in your body. And what happens afterwards is that that energy that's blocked, trapped in your body, will attract similar experiences in the future. So now, starting from a first experience that you have in your life, if you look backwards, you will find many similar experiences up to the day when you understand, I need to do something. I am attractive. I am a magnet to this kind of situations. So I am not a victim in itself, but I am attracting it. I am creating that in my life. And starting from that point, we can choose a healing technique that will help us work with emotions and also with beliefs.
What is EFT?
So EFT, what I do, because I know it can mean many other things. In what I do, EFT comes from emotional freedom techniques, and it's plural because there are multiple techniques,
Right.
and it's helping you release trapped emotions by tapping on points on your body, on precise points, the end of meridians. There is all the history, all the studies that prove how effective it is. And while we tap, we are releasing trapped emotions.
Oh,
So, for
wow.
instance, what we feel as an emotion from -10 intensity, this is maximum intensity, it will go down to a 0. So, like I feel angry, I will be calm. EFT gets us from
Wow.
-10 to 0 in minutes.
Wow. That is amazing. Is it the EFT that will make a person calm down if they're experiencing anger? Or does the person have to already be in that particular state that they'll already feel calm? Because this is amazing.
So with EFT, there are multiple techniques. You start from someone who's in great panic. You have a first technique where you will start tapping and they will be able to breathe. Then you use another technique where
Wow.
you are, I have so many emotions. Let's tap on all the emotions all together. We call it the state, and it will help the person feel calmer. And then we are like, what's the emotion you feel? And it will be like terror, horror, fear, anger, rage, shock. And you tap on each emotion, and the
Wow.
person will feel all the changes in their bodies.
That is so amazing. So you've helped numerous individuals to live a life of harmony, to experience, help them with their personal transformations in life whereby, they weren't satisfied in their relationships. So do you find, Dorela, that in relationships, what do people need more? Do you find they need balance or there's equality? Or can people have both?
I don't feel they are opposing or not accepting one another.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I think what's important for us is to work on ourselves. There is this tendency, it's his fault. I'm talking about women, but it's either way. It's his fault. It's not my fault. It was my partner's fault. It's not my fault. And we are always looking outside, blaming outside. I just said previously that we attract experiences based on our past events of our lives. So if we take a step back, like stop doing what you're doing and breathe in, breathe out. If there is some part of responsibility for what happened in my life, and if there is any kind of power in my hands to help me be better, am I willing to take action?
Yeah.
So we will find both balance and equality. I don't know exactly what you mean by equality, but I'm sure we will understand the same thing.
Yeah, so by equality, what I was pertaining to is that in relationship, men or women, the partners, we often say that, what a man is supposed to do or what a woman is supposed to do. There's no equality in that. So, what is the main difference that people is what I was asking? What is the main difference between balance or equality?
Well, in this, I really want to share a point of view. So it's my point
Yes,
of view. It's not a
yes.
general rule, but there
Mhm.
is something really incredible. Women like to rule the relationship because it's all this we are the power, we are better than men, we have to prove them how important we are. But the main problem in that is that women become the alpha male in the relationship.
Right,
And
yes. Mhm.
actually, a man loves the woman. So they are like, okay, you are the alpha man. I will get back from all the power, and they stop doing anything. I won't show you I love you because you're not satisfied. I won't be there for you because you're never satisfied. You think I'm good for nothing. I will be good for nothing. And actually, that woman that only wanted to feel all that love from a man, she's like all alone and she is the one suffering. And in what I'm doing, I'm like, you can be the one bringing in the money, but there is the energies in the relationship, the masculine and the feminine, and they need to be in balance. So there is no he has to do this, she has to do that. There is no such list because it's particular in every couple, but we need that balance and equality in the specific couple, so not general rules.
Right. So what I'm hearing is that we need to communicate better. Communication is always the key. Communication is the key to lasting relationships. If you can't communicate, it's all about, I need to do this or you need to do that. But if we communicate and we come together as equal, this is what I feel. If we come together as equal, but communication really has to be the key. It sets a foundation. Would you agree?
So you are touching such an important point, key point here, because communication is really important. What I bring to the table is the energy. Unfortunately, we communicate sometimes perfectly, but the energy, the shift, the exchange of energy has nothing to do with the communication, verbal communication. I work with clients and they are like transmitting messages that are not what they are saying with their mouths. For instance, I want to be invisible. I just worked that with a client. So she's someone who wants to do something to be out there exposed, and in her subconscious the energy she was sending out in the world, it was I want to be invisible, I am invisible, because it was on multiple layers. So communication was perfect. And she said, like, I really felt invisible. And it's so amazing you got that out because I never thought of that.
Can you explain more in depth to our viewers? What do you mean by I want to be invisible? If it's our audience listening and they may feel like they want to be invisible, what does that really mean?
So for her was the broadcast message is what we can find. I work with EFT and matrix reimprinting, so we are talking a lot about that today, but I am also certified in emotion code, body code, belief code. And in the body code, we can find broadcast messages and different energies that will block whatever we want to do. So a broadcast message like this one, I am invisible, there is, I say, the outer broadcast message, like the radio tower sending the message. I am on the same frequency, and I will hear that message. So you can shout out in my head, and I won't hear you because for me, your energy is telling me you're invisible. I won't be able to see
Oh,
you.
wow.
And there is also the inner circle. I'm calling it like the intranet when I was in school. So the local one, it's like you watching yourself in the mirror. So it's like I'm invisible. I don't even see myself. And from that, I won't be able to ask for anything. I will feel that no one sees me. So it goes into maybe depression because I myself am not able to see myself.
Right. So then a person may be withdrawn. Do you find, and then you just withdrawn, you just go internal, you're like you just go into that shell because you feel. But what makes the person feel that way? Is it because they feel they are not worthy? Do they experience the self-confidence, the self-esteem that makes them feel this way?
We go down deeper on a one level or multiple levels deeper is the beliefs. Because in those past experiences, we have beliefs that get so anchored in our energy and they will make our reality. So, for instance, now we are into that shell invisibility stuff. It's not that we will find the same beliefs to every single person, it will be unique for everyone.
Right.
But working on what are those beliefs, what are the events that are connected, working on every single event that the person has. It's like we don't have to think, oh my God, it's like years of work. No, it's not years of work, but maybe a few months of work.
Right.
And it depends on how we work on ourselves. But when we start working, we start seeing the results. And actually, what happens is identifying belief systems, releasing them, and with every release, the person will have a shift in the experiences they will have afterwards.
Right. Amazing. So we just talked about, relationship. We talked about the balance and equality, what a man assumes a woman to do, what a woman assumes a man to do. You should do this and I should do that. But of course, what comes to mind is that a forced relationship, when it's forced, it does not work.
Well,
So, so that's where the connection really has to be on point. You really have to connect in every
so
aspect.
it's really interesting. Yeah. Oh, once more, in my point of view, there is no relationship where one of them feels amazing and the other one feels bad. So either they are both okay or they are both
Yeah.
not okay, but it's something we build together. We build the relationship together, we break the relationship together. I was saying about blaming the other, it was my situation. So I'm coming from the point where I wanted to break up with my husband. I was sure it was his fault, why I am not happy in the relationship, and working on myself only on me shifted everything in the relationship. So if we are unhappy, we should stop blaming the other one and start looking what is in there. Because actually what happened is that you are coming into a relationship with your emotional baggage.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, everything is
It's
amazing,
amazing.
pink,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, let's say pink, pinky beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And then your emotional baggage starts popping its face and showing whatever you have there.
Right.
If you have the power to work on your emotional baggage, the other person won't change for the worse, maybe change for the better.
Right. And I've also heard people say that, absolutely, 100%. We all come with emotional baggage, but I've also heard people say that when you begin to change yourself, like, when I broke up with in my marriage, when my marriage was dissolved and I started to experience, those relationships, starting to date, I had to be the one. Initially, because I was broke, internally, mentally, and emotionally broke, I was always falling for the wrong people. But then when we fall for those wrong people, how can we help to really elevate ourselves in order to attract the right kind of people?
Okay, so sometimes it's too late to save a marriage or a couple, and I know I've seen it lots of times. Uh, it if it's the end of something, we really need that outer support because it's really difficult. We are down at the end of everything and we feel like the life has ended. So
Yeah.
I didn't get divorced, but I had relationships previously, and I really felt it was the end of my life. So I really feel where you are, and being married, it's even harder to live with that. But if we are like with the intention, some people will pray to God, other will talk to the universe, other will have something else. For me, I always say, I don't care what's the name you give to it, but
Right.
give a name to it and talk to it. Why? Because when you put an intention, you're like, I have no clue what to do, I really need a sign, and
Mm-hmm.
the sign is coming, and it's a first little step to take.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who will hug us. It doesn't have to be the person that will stay in our lives. You just meet that person one time, they don't know what they are doing, they will hug you, and it will be, oh, I asked for a sign, I got a sign, there is some hope. So it's little shifts of faith and power. And then step by step, we
Mm-hmm.
will meet the right persons that will help us with every step that we have to take.
There are Most marriages are thriving, but there's a small percentage, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a small percentage of people that are not satisfied in their relationships, in the marriage. How can we decrease the number of people who may be experiencing dissatisfaction, experiencing divorce? How can we decrease that number so that people can really start to enhance their lives in a way that they've always wanted, but they didn't have a guidance? So, can you share with us what are some of the tools and techniques that can be used so that we can decrease the number of people who are experiencing to not go through divorce?
For me, and I know it's something amazing because I never stopped saying about it, it was gratitude. So, for instance, that we can start practicing every single day, it's
Mhm.
really easy. Why? I was in a point where I didn't feel any gratitude for my husband. And someone told me, write 10 reasons of gratitude daily, and you will see that something will happen. And I was like, you're crazy. I'm not doing that. But as I said previously, looking for signs. So this person came into my life with that when I was asking for a sign. So I'm like, I don't believe what you're saying. I will start doing it because I asked for a sign. I need to do it. So practicing gratitude, even if we don't believe it, like remember the moments when things were okay. Be thankful that maybe he's coming home, that maybe
Yeah.
he gives you money even though you're not talking to each other. Then previous memories of whatever you had for the kids. So when we have the kids, always feel grateful for that. So this is the first thing that we can do. Gratitude will shift our energy and will help us receive more tools that can help us. We are talking about EFT today. Well, we have tapping and EFT. Tapping is like just simply tap on the points, and basically tapping without even talking will have a percentage of relief, of well-being. So
Wow.
for tapping on a daily basis, even if we cannot work with someone one on one and understand how deep the work can go, it will help you relax. And just to make people understand why tapping can be important, well, we are usually on a fight or flight um, thermostat, I think. So it's like there is something always running after us, and we are always on a run or scared or in stress or frozen. So we are not okay. And the tapping helps release all the cortisol and adrenaline, and it will calm the body. So, with a calmer body, we have a calmer mind, a clean mind, and even the stomach that will be able to digest and do whatever they have to do as organs in our body. So, gratitude and tapping can be tools that you can use at home. Starting from that, you will look for something more, but it's a good start.
Absolutely. Gratitude is always the key to, I love gratitude and I use that every day, no matter where I am. But would you say EFT and the matrix re-imprinting, why is it called matrix re-imprinting? What is that tool? And why is it called matrix re-imprinting? Just
Yeah,
for curiosity.
yeah, it's something really beautiful. Actually, during our lives, there is the energetic consciousness that we call echo. So, echo comes from energetic consciousness.
Right.
Every single experience that we had in the past, it's recorded in the matrix. So
Oh,
it's difficult to see, but with the movies that we had back in the
yes.
day,
Yeah.
here to perceive something on that. And
Mhm.
in the matrix reimprint, so the reimprinting, we will reimprint something, but the matrix, what's important in this technique is that instead of working on me now, how I feel now about my past, I am going back in time and working on my echo.
Oh,
So every time I had that experience that was really bad for me, if it's a trauma, if it's only something that disturbed me, it will impact my present life. So in the beginning with the EFT, we tap on the present. How am I feeling now? How am I feeling about my past? But with the matrix, and with the matrix with EFT, we go back in precise moments where we suffered a lot and we start tapping in the matrix, releasing trapped emotions. And then with every emotion released, the echo will change until they dance, they feel okay. So there is something, we know something bad happened, but we released all the trauma, all the emotions from that experience. And then that echo that feels amazing, it's re-imprinted. So instead of having the memory of something horrible, we have the memory of something really empowering, and it transforms our lives. And with every event that we are working, we feel that shift. And instead of having the old beliefs, it's like they don't sound true to me anymore. So they shift into empowering beliefs.
Wow, that is amazing. So it's almost like rewiring your brain
Yes,
in
yes,
in
it's
essence,
exactly what's
right?
happening. Yes, yes, but instead of just doing in the present moment, we work back in the past and we are bringing it up to the present. So it's like working like 50 years of life in 10 minutes of session.
That is amazing. So why does this method work and how can our viewers apply if they choose to do so?
Well, the most important thing in the EFT and matrix is that we don't need to tell what happened. So instead of building a new echo, like, let me tell you what happened and all the history, we're like, just breathe in, breathe out. We will release emotions. So the person can talk about what happened only after everything was worked. And when they talk, it's like telling about the movie that I saw, but it's not my movie. It's someone else's movie. It's just an experience that I am okay to share. Before working with EFT and Matrix, every single time you will tell someone what happened back then, you are creating a new echo. So you are reinforcing that energy that will attract even more experiences in the same energy. When we start tapping, as I said, just simple tap, we start relaxing. When we work with a practitioner that guides us through the session, we release the emotions, we understand the connection between multiple events and the belief system that connects them all. And when we have worked all those events, the belief system has cracked and it's not there anymore.
That is so beautiful. And, when we can see that, it really helps you to. So, as a practitioner, you help people to go back into the past, with the matrix, the re-imprinting. When individuals go back to the past, they feel emotion, any kind of emotion, because, when we go to a psychotherapist, a psychologist, they always ask about your past. And for most people, that is painful. And that brings a lot of emotion. For most people, they do tear up. So does the matrix re-imprinting or the EFT with the tapping, how do people experience?
So
What do they
you have
experience?
yeah, you have multiple types of experiences. For instance, you can be okay right now, but you have that memory that you need to work on because it's impacting your life. So then you are okay and you start working on the past. But sometimes it's really hard. So we have like losses of partners, of kids, of parents, and they can be really, really hard. Instead of talking about them, we start by tapping. So you have a process like, am I okay right now? No, I'm not okay. So I will just start to tap on the whole how I feel right now.
Mhm.
And I will tap up to 0. When I'm down to 0, then I will ask, do I feel any emotions right now? And we will tap to 0 the emotions that pop up. And when I'm okay in the present, I will look at that event from the past. And then once again, the same process. Now looking at that event, you don't say anything about it. You looking at that, how do you feel right now? Well, I don't feel okay. Once more, tap on everything that we feel. Are there any emotions? Yes. Okay, let's tap on the emotions of what I'm feeling now. When everything is cool, we go back to the event and then we start tapping on the event. And when we got down to 0, that's when we go into the matrix and we will tap on the echo. So the energy consciousness from that age in the past. And
Right.
we will help them release all the energy. And it's really beautiful because I see clients doing all the things with me, and they're like, she's not scared anymore. She's smiling, she's
Wow.
dancing. And it's so empowering for them to see that I am tapping. I see the results for her, that little kid that really doesn't feel anymore what was happening there. And when you are at a plus 10, so in EFT we went from minus 10 to 0, and in the matrix we go from 0 to plus 10. And when it's a plus 10, it's the kid is smiling, is happy, everything is good.
Wow.
Re-imprint that in your body. And
Mhm.
then when you come out of the thing, you're like looking and feeling completely different.
Amazing. So the matrix re-imprinting is very powerful, and the tapping, a very powerful tool. How can people, how long should they spend if they want to do it at home? Our viewers listening, what is tapping? Is there a particular tool that is used for tapping? How can they do it, and how long should they spend every day?
So for tapping, the basic tapping, like uh, like gratitude, like thank you, thank you, thank you. So just the tapping, we can do it all day long. You don't have a limit of stop doing it because it's always helping. There is a huge difference in between tapping on itself. I watch a video and I will tap along, and working with the practitioner and learning how to tap. So, for
Mhm.
instance, it's not that we work only in the session, but working together, we explain the process. So the person can tap. It's not just the tapping, it's understanding how am I feeling, how am I identifying the emotions,
Yeah.
and just with the pre-recorded videos, it's not the thing. We can say that pre-recorded video, if that was what I needed, it will be amazing for me. I will be like, oh my god, they tapping, it's amazing. If it's not what I needed, I will be, oh, what's that thing, it's stupid. But working with someone who has learned all the process and also worked a lot on themselves, they will know how to guide. So, for instance, we always have an incrementation in the world. If we work together, we start like, let us understand how we tap in the present. And
Mhm.
we start with that, and they will be able to do that. So, not just simple tapping, but understand when to do it, why to do it, and let's do it. And it can take 1 minute if you don't have the time, but you really need to relax a little bit. You
Mhm.
can spend 10 minutes, you can spend 1 hour. If you have the time and want to do it, it's really amazing. And you can tap all day long if there is something really powerful going on and you really need to keep things calmer. And then with every single session, we learn a little bit more. And there is really something really interesting. We can go to the courses of EFT even if we don't want to become practitioners, because that will help us work with the practitioner. So they will be able to do so much more because we understand what we are doing.
Right. Amazing. So the matrix re-imprinting, is very powerful. It's a very powerful tool. And it turns those bad moments, those bad situations, to really empower you so that you become empowered, you become stronger. So would you say that this is what it does? It helps to erase those bad moments, those situations from your past to becoming stronger today.
So We never erase anything. The memory is still there. What it erases is the emotional attachment to the memory. So it's
Right.
just a memory. It's like a black and white thing. It's not important anymore. And I think it's really important to understand it's not about what we do for the past, is the impact that has in the present. Because whatever the blockage is, for instance, now we're talking about relationships, but it's really impacting the quality of the relationship. Either it's the relationship, the money, the health, even the health issues, we can work on EFT and tapping. And it's something so incredible to understand that there was that emotional baggage that created that situation. So we continue to go to the doctor, we take our meds, but complementary to that, we have this amazing tool to work with. So it's not just that, oh, when I think of that, I feel so much better. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's amazing. But what happens is that now I stop attracting those same situation in my life. So it changes everything I'm feeling. So it's really empowering because I don't feel like that little kid that was without any power, tired, and I don't know, because we may feel many different things, and then everything becomes the opposite, and every person feels so much empowered to do whatever they want to do.
Right. Absolutely. So true. This is so interesting. I really love, I never knew. I mean, I heard of EFT, but matrix re-imprinting, this is so amazing. It's so powerful. I'm so glad that you're here to share with us as to what the two together, EFT, emotional freedom technique, and the matrix re-imprinting, how they can really enhance and change your life. You just mentioned, Dorela, attraction. And I want to touch on attraction. And as we talked about, we never want to go through a divorce. That's the last thing any couple wants to go through. We always want to salvage the relationship. We always want to do what we can to make the marriage work. And as I said, there's a very small percentage. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it a small percentage of the people that may be experiencing that situation? What is the percentage?
I never believe in those percentages because
Okay.
I think they are just popped out there because if you don't check out with every single person, it's just a number that will make people think
Right.
what's happening.
Mhm.
Basically, they say that half of marriages will end up in divorce and maybe even more. But how many of them are they still happily married? I don't know.
Right. So my question was to about attraction, and you
Yeah.
know that the chemical, the reaction of attraction, it is so powerful in itself. When you're attracted to someone or someone is attracted to you, how does that work? The dopamine effect that in your brain that is really giving you those signals to what you feel, whether it's a
So
sexual attraction towards someone, whether it's a physical attraction. Attraction is a very powerful drug.
yeah, so there is attraction, the law of attraction, but in what you want to find out, I will pop up with something completely new, I hope, because I have three pillars in what I do. There's the emotion code, the EFT with matrix reimprinting, and the third one is the seeding system. And based on all of them, it's how I work with my clients. And actually, we plant seeds to have a relationship. Because we don't know about the seeding system, we stop planting the seeds. And what happens? So if you plant your seeds, you will eat. I know we have agricultures, we're not doing the planting, but it's helping to understand the process. If we stop planting next year, no more cereals, no more nothing to eat. In the relationship, we don't know we are planting the seeds for the relationship, but we are doing things. When we are alone, so we don't have a single, we don't have partners, we spend time with different people. So we plant the seeds by giving other persons our time. When we get in the relationship, we're like, I don't have time for you. I need to take care of my kids. Oh, I don't care about my parents anymore. So there are so many no's in our lives. We put many crosses, and actually we stop planting the seeds. And that's when everything falls off.
Mhm.
And we discover, oh, he doesn't love me, she doesn't love me, oh, I don't love him, because it's the end of the relationship. So knowing the seeding system is really helping me to guide the persons through these challenges. Sometimes it's we don't have the time to save anything, to fix the thing. It's already too late. But sometimes it's just in time to change everything for the better. When it's too late, it's really important to understand, I was planting seeds. Oh, this sounds interesting. Yeah, I remember. Okay, you want a relationship, continue to plant the seeds even after you met the person. And I will just give an example with my book, because it's the seeding system. So it's not that I saved my marriage, it got completely transformed, and I am so in love with my husband. Instead of saying it was his fault, I turned up to be grateful. He was there all those years when I was so insatisfied with everything from him, because he's amazing. I love him. And what happened? I've written the book, The Perfect Relationship.
Yeah.
Every single time someone will read a page from my book, I'm planting the seeds for my relationship. Every single time when someone mentions my book and sends it to other people, they are planting seeds for their relationship. It's just an example of what we can do. But finding someone, a lonely person, an elderly person, and spending time with them, that's always planting the seeds for the relationship. And yeah, we both have to do that, because we both want to have the relationship.
Exactly. But attraction is a two-way thing. I mean, a woman alone can, if the man finds a woman attractive, that attraction in itself is very powerful. This is what I was pertaining to, that when a man finds a woman attractive, there are signs, but what should you do? Can you share with us in those moments? What should you do if a man finds you attractive? It's almost like playing chess. So you can give all your kings or your queen or your pawn. You're playing chess. So then what should a woman do when she knows that yes, a guy could be attractive to her, but she doesn't want to give all her cards away?
Oh, this is so complicated. I myself feel so old, because we have 14 years of marriage, and I really feel old nowadays watching people meeting and looking for the relationship of their lives, because we already all are there and are okay. For instance, if someone is in a relationship, if their relationship is solid, they won't be other person coming into that. When they're single and meeting people, it's really important to work with the emotional baggage, because the attraction will be there. But is it something, an impulse? I feel something, or is it something much more powerful that will stay in for many years to come? I cannot give an answer without knowing a person. It happened to me knowing the person to say that guy is wrong for you. It's not someone solid. And other times when I was like, this is the guy, and it really was. It was the first date, and my feeling was right in each situation. But we cannot generalize. We cannot say to people, you have to do this or you have to do that.
Yes.
If they work on themselves, and it's really important to work on ourselves, the right person is always coming. And even if we got divorced, that doesn't mean we are mean persons or that we don't deserve love. We all deserve love. It was something that we didn't know how to act on,
Yes.
but working with ourselves, we all have the right to happiness.
Absolutely. Dorela, this has been such a powerful conversation. I could talk to you all day long. I mean, this is so good. And our viewers, I'm sure you got immense value from what Dorela has shared with us. Your final question, Dorela, can you share with us your 3 life lessons that you want to share as to how your journey began, as to what you have accomplished today? What can you share? 3 life lessons.
Well, gratitude is really important,
Mhm.
and also having set your goals. If you don't have a goal, you won't never know if you achieve them. With the goal in mind, you will take actions. And I think the third one is take action, because if you have the goal but you do nothing about it, it's just a dream. When you take a one step of action, one daily step of action will help you accomplish your goal.
100%. So powerful. Dorella, where can people find you and how can we get in touch?
Well, my name is Dorela Ayyappan. So if you write Dorela Ayyappan, dorelaayappan.com, you find me on my website, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You can get in touch with me, and then you can contact me. And from there, we can find the best ways to work together. But even if we don't work together, just work on yourself, do the work and see the magic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dorella. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Dorela Ayyappan, who talked about EFT, the matrix reimprinting, how important and valuable this tool really is to help you change your life in your relationship, change your life in general, so that you are living the life to the fullest and to the best of your abilities, and to be grateful, to take actions, to work on ourselves every single day. It is so important to do that. When we do that, life truly begins to change. And as Dorella said, it's magic, it's magical. So we have come to the end of another amazing show. Stay tuned for the next Ask the Experts podcast, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now. Devala, thank you so much for coming on. This was so amazing.